Imposter syndrome is a lie. I have a book called It's About Damn Time: How to Turn Being Underestimated into Your Greatest Advantage. My book talks about how I went from being homeless to raising more than $30 million and investing in hundreds of startups led by women, people of color, and LGBTQ plus founders. It also talks about how I overcame a lot of adversity. And I want to talk about some of that with you today to help you in your current circumstances. If you use information as an asset, it becomes your most valuable asset that you own. If you don't have money, if you don't have social capital, meaning you don't know a lot of people, then having information within is the biggest hack I know. Become the most knowledgeable person in your lane and you will go so far. It also helps you attract success and attract people who want to be involved in what you're doing. When I was broke 10 years ago and I had nothing, I had something because I had information. I would pour myself into reading every book I could, even when I couldn't afford to. I would walk to the store and read the books inside of the store. I'd go to the library. I'd get as much as possible online. I'd read every magazine, every article, listen to every podcast I could get my hands on. And now 10 years later, there's so much more available to you. If you can get yourself in the room, attend events, create your own events, that adds to this asset. I want you to keep these 5 things in mind. Become the asset. If you don't have financial capital, focus on acquiring the knowledge and the skills that build your value. Being informed and knowledgeable about something can open doors for you when financial resources are limited. Number 2, information is widely available. In today's world, information is at your fingertips. It's online, it's in person, it's everywhere. If you have access to a smartphone, a laptop, a library's computer, wherever you're watching this, you have access to everything you need for free. You're watching this on YouTube right now. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, only second to Google, which owns it. There is no excuse not to have information when you can type in any search word and take yourself on a learning journey at any time of the day. Take advantage of the wealth of free resources you have. No more excuses. Put in the comments right now, no more excuses, if this makes sense to you. Number 3, knowledge fights insecurity. Let me tell you what I mean. Several years ago, I had the worst stage fright ever. I could not stand in front of more than 5 or 10 people at a time, and certainly not on a big stage talking in front of a lot of people. Today, I get paid to speak around the world on huge stages. How did I go from there to here? Information. I got information. I became informed. Therefore, I had more and more confidence on the subject matter, which made me less and less nervous about speaking on it. There's still times I get stumped. There's still times I don't know something, but now I have the confidence to say, I don't know this, but I'm going to find out. This is such a powerful tool. It is huge. It will change your life if you know how to use it. And you can start right now. You're learning this moment. Watch more of my videos, watch 2 or 3 more videos, and you will learn so much in just an hour's time. Number 4, learning never stops. I still practice what I preach. I spend hours and hours and hours every single week learning. I spend probably 30 to 40 hours per week learning, dedicating myself to learning more about topics that are important to me. Even with all the millions earned, the millions raised, and the investments made, I still learn every single day as much as humanly possible because I have seen this work. I'm not just saying it for a video. I've seen it work for my life. It transformed my life to have this information, have an ongoing curiosity. Insatiable curiosity will make you a millionaire. Say that one more time. Say it in the comments. Insatiable curiosity will make you a millionaire. It helps you stay ahead in your field, in your industry, in your lane. And when you're building the other assets that will make you money, because ownership is how people get wealthy, having information and having curiosity helps you build those assets and build that intellectual property that doesn't yet exist in the world. So you're adding to, the more you learn from others, the more you're able to create, the more you're able to create valuable resources. Number 5 is that not all knowledge comes from books and the internet. There is a huge value in interacting with people who are knowledgeable about the topic. Build connections. Do what Issa Rae says and build connections horizontally, meaning don't always think about who is the most famous or successful or rich person in that field. Think about the people who are working with you alongside you. What information can you all share? This is why I say you have to get together, have a group of 5 or 6 people that you meet with every month or 2 months that you can share knowledge, information, and resources with. Share connections, open doors for each other. This can be as simple as a dinner every 2 months or a coffee meetup when you're in town. I told you I had a big, epic hack for you. This is something that I have actually done myself and has worked like a charm. Back in the day, I didn't have access to the people I have access to today. Today, I have access to Mark Cuban. I have access to Sam Altman, who runs OpenAI. I can talk to industry experts. I can talk to thousands of millionaires. I have a large network in venture capital and the startup ecosystem today, but I didn't always. So this one epic hack helped me. And that is, if you don't have a lot of connections, you become the plug. One way to do this is to start your own podcast, YouTube channel, or blog where you interview people who are in your lane. I have interviewed hundreds of people in the last few years, and it has opened up an incredible amount of opportunity for myself and for other people. So start by inviting people who are a little bit accessible to you that you can reach online. Reach out to 10, 20, 30, 50 of them if you have to get the first couple of yeses. Interview them, research, do a good job of that. Have some points on board, have something that you can then show to someone who is a little further along. Send them copies of those interviews and say, hey, I would love to have you and put you in front of my audience. Even if you have a small audience to begin with, what you're doing is you're giving a platform to someone else for free, which is very valuable. So you're giving them value. The more you do this, each step of the way, you go further and further out from your comfort zone. You go further and further ahead of you in your lane so that finally you're reaching out to people who are very well known in your lane or someone that you really want to work with. So then when you get them on your show, get them on your podcast, your YouTube interview show, you ask them all the questions you've been waiting to ask. Well-researched interviews are a dream for someone who is busy and successful. They want to get right to the point. They want to share their wisdom and their experience, and they want to have a package asset that they can use themselves. And then they want to head on out. So make it pretty quick for them, painless, and very professional. Once you're in the room with them or you're on Zoom with them and you've asked them all the public questions that you can, when the recording has stopped, say to them, can I ask you one more question privately? Use that time because they probably will say yes. Use that time to say something more personal or something more specific to your situation. So imagine you do this 5, 10, 20 plus times over a year's period. You will have all of this collected information and collected answers about your specific situation from some of your dream mentors. They may not be able to work with you around the clock year after year, but you would have reached them by going step by step and putting in those reps that they respect, and then you'll have the information that you need. Not only that, you're able to share 99% of that information with the world and with people like you who want that kind of information. So you're adding value to the mentor and to the people who are being mentored. You are becoming the plug. A great example of this is Callum Johnson. If you're not familiar with Callum, check out his YouTube channel, The Callum Johnson Show, where he interviews people and he has some of the best questions I've ever heard. I was on his show. I don't even know how many views we have now, way more than 200,000 at this point. And I interviewed with him less than a year ago. He did this. He did this hack without me even telling him. He was so well researched. He was someone who worked even when he had 20 or 30 or 40 views at a time. He still treated it like it was the interview of his life. Then he had some interviews that just took off like a rocket, and the rest is history. So this is something you can do. And you don't have to do this full time. You don't have to make it a full-time thing like Callum, but it's definitely a cool hack that you can have going. I've seen this work time and time again. I even know someone who launched a $50 million venture fund off of their podcast. So it's something to think about, whether it's a short form on Instagram or it's long form on video or YouTube. It's something to think about.